All right. Good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we are going to go over the importance of charities and just being a person in your community that goes out and shows up and is a community person. So we're going to get into a lot of different facets of this one. But before we get into today's presentation, we're going to bring Bill Seitz, our corporate broker, on the line. Good morning, Bill. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Alta agents. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. Beautiful fall day in California. So, yeah, lovely day for a webinar.
Yeah, I am pretty tired. I stayed up late. I watched the results, the election, and then I immediately started following the markets and seeing kind of the reaction to the election, and it's pretty interesting. Markets are up pretty big today. Um, and that kind of ties into the broker tip from yesterday. And obviously, as you guys know from many webinars, I follow a lot of the financial stuff. Such an important component to real estate and finance. And I found a really good piece that Kevin helped me send out yesterday that I thought was a really good read, because we talk a lot about interest rates. We talk a lot about the markets. We talk a lot about the different variables that have impacted interest rates and mortgage rates. And if you didn't have the time to review that document, it really explains um, why interest rates have done what they've done. And we said it, literally before the week before the Fed cut interest rates by half a point. We said that they might not go down, and it's because we understand that there's other market forces in play. And if you just take the 5 minutes to read that document, it really outlines that stuff. And the markets are always forward looking. They're always looking beyond today. It's not a reactionary thing to today per se. It's more of they're forward looking to 3 months, 6 months. And so when you hear the term like the pricing's baked in, or they've already basically accounted for that, so the market was already anticipating that rate cut. And so that's why we saw the rates trending down until the actual rate cut. And then when it happened, it was like, oh, well, some people probably still think that the rates are lower, like today, than they were, maybe a month ago when when the Fed actually cut the rates. But they've actually gone up quite a bit. And this is a really easy to digest document. And basically it talks about how the federal funds rate is the rate that the banks lend money to each other, right? And so on the surface, where it looks like, okay, they cut the rate by 0.5%, so the banks are borrowing money at a cheaper rate. Naturally, you would figure credit cards and auto loans and mortgage rates would be following suit. But that's not necessarily the case, because there's other variables in play that affect the mortgage rates, and like the bond rate. We talk a lot about bonds in these webinars, and a lot of this is not to bore you, not to put you to sleep, but to keep improving your skill set and understanding how these things work together. And so when you do talk to your clients, you really are the expert, because I'll tell you, before I actually worked at a bank, I was an agent just like most of you out there. That's what I did. I sold homes, and I really didn't have a full broad understanding of finance and how it worked. And then I actually did go work for a retail bank for a couple of years. And I really got to understand the broader um, workings of finance and how the money works in residential mortgage, and even flowing out, just beyond that. So, for me, it is really an important thing for us to all understand, and we'll continue to, you kind of help everyone get to a real strong position there. But I do encourage you guys to read that one. It's a really good article. It really outlays pretty much everything, and you'll read that and go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. I might not understand all of it, but it makes total sense. And I think that'll be helpful for everybody moving forward, because rates have gone up a fair bit. And I don't know if Kevin, if you can pull up the 10-year treasury, and I won't, we're almost back at four, almost 4.5. We were at 3.6 about a month ago or so. You can see it. Look at that. It just, I mean, beginning of October, we're basically under 3.75. So while we're still off of the highs of last year, and that article really talks about too, is like, yep, rates have been gone up, but we're still in a better place than we were a year ago. So there is a silver lining. But that's why we talk about the buy downs and all that stuff. And I'll let Debbie jump in here because she's got a mortgage update. But yeah, give that a read, digest some of that information. I think it'll be really helpful for everybody.
Yeah, thanks for that, Bill. And so, of course, that was emailed out to everybody. But if you missed it, you can just go to Facebook, and it is right here. So you can click on that, read it. Really important. So we do encourage you guys to read that stuff, because you become the expert, then you are able to teach your clients. So good stuff. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, no worries. And I got to be able to push my call back, Kevin, so I'll be on for the duration.
Oh, great. So now we're going to bring on Debbie Saccone from Clearview Mortgage. Good morning, Debbie. Debbie.
Hi, I know I have to unmute myself. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on from what Bill is talking about with rates going up. It's pretty crazy right now, and so I'm working with this one client, $1.7 million purchase price, 1.3 something loan amount, and the rates as they've come up is just killing him. He's like, oh my God, I don't know, what to do. And so he had been talking to Wells Fargo. When you get into a jumbo loan, the banks have a lot of different guidelines that for him hindered him from being able to go there and have a comfortable transaction. And most people, like this particular client is a past client of mine also, and he had a friend that worked at Wells Fargo, so this was his buddy, and his buddy actually took it a lot further than any other Wells Fargo, Chase, or Bank of America, any bank initial loan officer that anybody talks to. This guy took it a little bit further and looked into a few aspects of my client's loan using business funds, and 1 year tax return versus 2 years tax returns. So these things were killing his ability to do the loan with Wells Fargo. One thing that, most people, when they go to their bank and they talk to a loan officer there, that loan officer does not know the guidelines. They just say, oh, no problem. They think it's their lucky day. They got a loan app, and it isn't until the loan gets into underwriting that things start falling apart. So, and that's really also because they only have one program, one type of program. We have many jumbo loan programs. So in this particular client's case, with all the things that we have to kind of work around, this particular jumbo program will go off of a DU, which is desktop underwriting. That's an automated approval type system that typically only conforming loans or conforming high balance loans will be put through. But most jumbo programs, they will never go off of a Fannie Mae guideline per se off of a automated approval system. But we have programs that do. So not only can I do the loan with 1 year tax return, which increases his income, but also they allow a 2-1 buy down, let's say. So this guy, instead of having a 6.875% interest rate, 30-year fixed, he can have the first year 5.875% first year, and then the second year 6.875%, when of course we all hope that rates will go down. And what is this going to cost? In his case, this is going to cost, let's see here, to have his rate down just for the first year with this loan amount is only going to cost the seller $12,000. It's actually a 1-0 buy down. So the first year he gets 5 7/8, second year 6 7/8. And in the second year, if he wants to refinance, he can. And we're all hoping that rates will be down at that time. $12,000 is not a lot of money on a jumbo loan for the seller to pay. How do you get that? Let's say there's multiple offers and the seller is going to take the best offer. Up your offer by, $12,000, $13,000, and or call me first, find out how much the buy down is going to be. Up your offer that much and have the seller pay it, because this is a seller paid buy down. But this is a way, don't forget about this way. This way is going to help this guy. He's going to get a 5.7%, 5.875% interest rate the first year. And then I'll, probably be able to hopefully refinance him the second year. And he can use business funds with this program. We can use 1 year tax return with this program. And he doesn't have to make a contingent offer in this guy's case, because we're able to use the 1 year tax return, the most recent tax return, which gives him more income to help him qualify for both properties while he's, made this offer. It's, we try to find solutions, and in this guy's case, so that the sellers also feel comfy, cozy, that he's going to qualify. And he, had the luxury of having a friend at Wells Fargo that actually knew what they were doing and what they were talking about. And he told him some of the downfalls of things he cannot do with Wells Fargo at all. And this is very, very, very common. So just wanted to throw that out there, that a mortgage broker is going to make loans work far better, far faster than direct lenders or banks or online banks. Those are kind of a nightmare sometimes for people. And it drives, listing agents crazy. I've even had the buyer's agent go, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's going online and not with you," But sometimes the online, this happened too. One guy wanted to go on the online because they had a lower rate, and I'm doing quotations with my fingers, and he gets the disclosures. He is paying a boatload for that lower rate. I was giving him pricing with no origination points. Anybody has an option to buy the rate down themselves too. So if they want to pay a boatload of money to get a lower rate, they can. They can definitely do that. The buyer is able to do that. But that online lender didn't tell them up front that that was the key reason why their interest rate was lower than mine. So that happens a lot. And then I get a call back, "Will you look at this loan estimate for me?" And I'll look at it. I'm like, "Oh, did you want to pay $30,000 for that rate, by the way?" Question mark, question mark. Anyway, that is my piece today. Go with a mortgage broker. Go with Clearview Mortgage. Go with Debbie Does Loans. I can help you figure all this out and have fun too.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Debbie. Appreciate that, because that is super important. So now we're going to shift gears. So this week is my personal charity. So of course we're going to be talking about charities this week. So with real estate, we are local. We do things local. Of course, we'll take deals outside of our local area, but we generally are focused on one particular area, right? So, with that said, it is so important for us to be involved in that local community and for us to be part of the community. And not just because it may, you know, lead to real estate deals that should happen naturally, but also because we should be giving back to our community. So in our case, my wife and I and one of our great friends, we're in our 6th year here, but we started a benefit called Bash Cancer Fest. And so it is a concert, and there's a raffle, and there are silent auctions. And so we decided as a group to create our own charity. You don't have to do that. You can just do things like donate time to local charities. And so we have a ton of local people that have just come together to donate booze, raffle items, pizza, beer, all different kinds of things to raise money for this particular charity. And so all of our proceeds go to what's called the Teddy Bear Foundation, which benefits local kids here in San Luis Obispo County, where I live. And so 100% of those proceeds go directly to helping families battling cancer. So that's our charity. But I want you guys to reach out, either create your own charity, which is a lot of work, but a lot of fun, or just donate your time to, there's millions of local charities. So let me change my screen here real quick. So there's a, with respect to real estate, and we don't have to, it doesn't have to be charities, per se. You can also donate your time to local sports, local, initiatives, right? Local events, cultural festivals, anything that you're passionate about is what I would say. But pick one and, really start to, you know, get into the community. That way you are you're expanding your sphere of influence, which we're always talking about doing, and you're making an impact on the community that you live in. So it's, the whole thing is extremely positive. And so one of the things that you can do is, and I see a lot of these people in my community. I can think of about 10, and they're always at local events. They're always at the fundraisers. They're always, donating time. You see them everywhere, right? And, most of the people that I'm thinking of are not realtors, but they could be. So as a realtor, if you're that person and you are there showing up all these different community events, the local sporting events, you are higher profile. And so one of the other things that we talk about is not being a secret agent. You can't, hide underneath the shadows and expect to have a large sphere of influence and, be referred business from that sphere of influence. So, it's very, very important for you to be out there in the community that you serve. And then one of the things that you can do, you don't have to do, but you can also share those moments and share that on social media, or share it in your, monthly newsletters. So, and another thing is that information or the charity that you support can also be put on your website and on your social media. So all these things are connected. But it's a really, really important step to select, a specific charity or group of charities or group of events that you want to attend. Put it on your radar, put it on your calendar, and make sure that you have, a plan in place for, giving back to your local community. Bill, any quick takeaways before I go further?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself in the it was like my big fat thumb was just like not unmuting. So
That's how I work.
yeah, I mean, I just anecdotally, I got my largest listing in my real estate, in my local real estate, kind of transaction history through when I was coaching Little League Baseball for my son's team. And, got to meet the parents. And it's something that I didn't, obviously do with the thought of trying to get secure real estate.
No.
We talk about this, at the organic level. I, Kevin and I have been involved in sports since we've been very little, been on lots of teams together as we were growing up. And, most of I'm still active in professional surfing, but as my kids were at that age, I actually coached both of their soccer teams and baseball teams, for my son, at least for baseball. And, and like Kevin said, getting involved in the community, and something that you're passionate about, like for me to help kids, in that capacity was very fulfilling and rewarding. And it also was, obviously a great time to be with my own kids, but I got to meet the other parents of the community. And Rob Barry was his son was on my team, and Rob was selling a multi-million-dollar home in Newport Beach. And I got the chance to go up against some of the better agents in Newport, and I was able to win the listing. And and it just happened naturally, it happened organically. But I never would have gotten that listing if I hadn't chosen to volunteer my time and coach and be involved with young kids, and and help them develop. But it wasn't my intention to go get a listing out of it. But as Kevin's talking about, is you're getting exposure to more and more people, and they're getting to know who you are, and naturally they know what you do. And then they trust you because they know you, and they know that I mean, especially in my particular case, like, wow, they're trusting me with their child to help them learn skills, and, confidence and self-esteem and blah, blah, blah. And so it was a real easy conversation to like, hey, Bill, I'm thinking about selling my house. Would you want to come over and take a look? Naturally, yeah, of course, Rob, I would love to do that. And so that's just one anecdotal thing. And, Kevin's brought up a number of things that you can possibly be passionate about. I know Kevin's really passionate about music and plays a lot of music on his free time. And so this Bash for Cancer revolves around a music concerts, bringing people together through having a fun event. And it's so powerful, and it's really rewarding as well.
It's super rewarding. And, so you're exactly right. So Bill, his passion is sports, like Bill said, like I've been on a lot of sports teams since we were third grade. So long way back. We were city champs, soccer, I think in third grade, weren't we?
Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll take it. So that was, it was an easy thing for Bill to be like, yeah, I, can teach these kids. And Bill was always a phenomenal athlete. And so it's an easy segue for him to be like, okay, sports is my thing. I can give back to the community in that way. Right. I like playing music. Um, my band members and we're all, passionate about our local community, and we are all in. Every single one of our band members is, works on the Bash Cancer Fest in some capacity, and we all donate. So, it's just, that's what we went with. So all you have to do is pick something you're passionate about, and you're going to reap the rewards, like Bill said. So even if it's something like that you don't even know about, like real estate for rehabilitation, right? There's a lot of different local things where you can donate your time to help rehabilitate, home. Habitat for Humanity. There's a ton of different things that you can donate time, and it would be real estate related, so you can tie real estate into this kind of, charity as well, right? So another things that you can do is you can, do charity work with respect to, outside of the community, or doing fundraisers to help, home building in other places like Mexico and Nicaragua and Tahiti and things like that. So you can do things in your local community that help other things that are also real estate related, and maybe that's something that kind of resonates with you. So, all of these different angles are things that give you exposure. You're giving back to the community, you're part of the community, and it does snowball back into real estate deals. And so we never want to, it never starts with, okay, I'm going to do this charity because I want more real estate deals. You should never approach it that way, but you will reap the rewards. So, um, any other things that you want to bounce off of me like that, you're always welcome to call me, and I love working on things like this. So, Bill, any last takeaways?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see maybe our next webinar or so, what ideas they have, because I think it's really interesting. Most of us are, we have some younger agents, but I think a lot of us are, we'll say in that middle age plus range. And a lot of us have a lot of great skill sets, a lot of, you know, acquiring of talents and being able to mentor, being able to provide something of value to the community. And there's nothing better than giving back.
I
Yep.
agree. I agree.
It really isn't. So, I mean, what could be better than that? You mean, like you said, you can have fun with it. You can have a couple, you could even do something with a couple other agents and that operate in maybe different parts of the city, but maybe you guys are going to bring the greater community together for something. It's just really sky's the limit on things you can do. And it all layers together too. And from my perspective, and I'm sure Kevin will agree, is that like the newsletters and the contact list and the information even about, like we talked about the finance this morning, like, and then you're layering in your community, or your donating your time to something, and layering it all together is just that is the most powerful way to leverage yourself and do good for the community and build your sphere of influence. I mean, it's really powerful, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. So, and there's also, you can, do things like, oh yeah, you can do kind of like, we always talk about our client appreciation parties. Well, you can do like a reverse client appreciation party where it's a charitable event. You can make a deal with a local business and say, hey, I'm going to bring, these people in, and would you offer 10% of the proceeds, right? So one of the things that we're going to do for Bash Cancer Fest is after the concert's over, which is going to be at 6 p.m. Then we're going to have one of our local, beer and wine establishments. We're going to say, hey, the after party is going to be over at Beerwood. And so everybody go over to Beerwood. And so we're going to, have him donate, a small amount of the proceeds to our foundation for that. So there's all these different, you can get super creative with this stuff. And so I think that's kind of what we'll leave you guys with is get creative with it, have fun with it, build, your brand around these, these community events, setting yourself apart with this important information with respect to your finances, with respect to markets. Those are the things that will separate you from the other realtors, and that's what's going to get you the business, right?
I
So
couldn't agree more, Kevin. It's really something that everyone should be thinking about in some capacity. And there's something small or large or something in between that you can do and be a part of. There's just, there's endless things. Even it's like donating your time at the local, repertory, or, the local library or whatever. I mean, you're going to meet people in any shape or form.
for sure. So last thing, if you're in the San Luis Obispo area this weekend, stop on by the Los Osos Community Center, and we will be there. And this year's our 6th annual event, and we will surpass $100,000 raised for the local community. So we're almost at 100,000, and we'll hopefully raise about $20,000 to $30,000 this weekend. So
Yeah.
you can also go ahead
Congratulations.
and donate right here. Right here is easy. bashcancerfest.com. So good
Yeah.
stuff.
Congratulations. That's a great milestone, Kevin.
For sure. No, we're super proud of that. So agents, get out there, make it a great week and a productive week, and we will see you all next Wednesday on the webinar. Bye-bye.